This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Uh, Let me introduce myself. This is Raj here, by the way. I'm a business management graduate by qualification. Over 2 decades of experience in the field of IT. I started my career as a business analyst in the initial days, where I was a senior business analyst later on. I held a position as a scrum master in the previous organization. Followed by this, now I'm an agile coach. So being an agile coach, my responsibility is to transform the teams from traditional to agile environment, wherein by imparting some values and principles to the team, all that. At the same time, I have to make sure team should perform well and motivate the team. Even behavioral counseling, behavioral coaching for individuals who is not performing well due to the stress, all that will also be taken care of by me. To begin with, this is all about an introduction part of Agile, which I am going to provide you. So this is in respect to the people who are from the non-IT backgrounds, because Agile is the one which we must be understood that Agile is not something only confined to the IT people. Even non-IT people can also use this. So this is what the presentation which I am going to provide you, which will be divided into these parts. The first of all, I am going to discuss about why Agile. Second, for what Agile is being used for nowadays. So followed by this, I'm going to discuss about who are using Agile, right? So is it only IT people uses Agile, or is there anyone else apart are using it? At the same time, why Agile is so prominent nowadays in any of the industry? If you see Agile as an individual methodology or a process, especially in application development, because whenever we start working on Sdlc, because Agile is a part of software development lifecycle models. Because whenever you want to develop the project, what is that you require? First of all, you must be knowing about what are the different development methodologies we have. Means when you want to start working on the project, or whenever you are working on any of the application development, all that stuff, first of all, you must be knowing about the process of application development lifecycle. So SDLC process explains you about different stages of SDLC, right? Different stages of process development. So this is how generally the SDLC process looks like. So first of all, one must be knowing about the process of application development lifecycle. So this is in reference to the people who are coming from non-IT, I'm saying, because a person who is coming from IT knows about the SDLC process well and all, but in reference to the non-IT part, I am explaining this to you. So this is all about software development lifecycle, which majorly have different phases. Where in the first phase we call it as analysis. In this analysis phase, we are trying to understand the business problem of the customer, providing the understanding their enterprises, all that. So based on the analysis, we go for planning and design. Means how to do the project planning, right? Structural designing, database designing, finalizing of requirements. All these things comes under the planning and design part. This is the second one. So analysis is the first one, where we are analyzing the requirements. So followed by this, we are going to discuss about the planning and design, what exactly planning and design is. So how to develop the project. So what are the different elements? For example, if you see project planning, like how much manpower do you require? What is the technical infrastructure you needed? Do we have technical expertise of the team we have or not? How to develop the project, how to design, how to document. All these things comes under the planning and design. So this is all comes under software development lifecycle. So software development lifecycle, after that implementation is the next one. Whatever we have planned, whatever design we have designed so far, that has to be implemented by the development team using different coding standards using different programming languages and all everything. They have to write the code. So this is all comes under the implementation. So here in this implementation, developers will write a code for the project. What is that they have identified? Means being a business analyst, whatever the features and functionalities they have identified, that has to be implemented here. So followed by the implementation, the next we call it as testing, where whatever the coding was done so far, that will be tested by the testing team by using different testing standards, all that. Either it may be a manual testing or automation testing, everything comes into picture in the testing part. Followed by testing, the next is deployment. We have to deploy the application and we have to show to the customer. Once customer is accepted, delivery of the project will be done accordingly. Followed by this, maintenance will be taken care of. So a software development life cycle explains us about various stages of application development. But when it comes to the models, because whatever the agile are you going to discuss in some time is something connecting to the models. Because there are a lot of models are we using nowadays, like something like traditional model we are using, something like waterfall V model are we using nowadays. At the same time, we are using even agile as well. So whatever the model of application development we are using, it's completely depends on the requirements of the customer, because some requirements, some customers wants you to complete project the way what we can. For example, a project to develop, for example, we are developing an e-commerce portal. Assume that to complete the whole e-commerce portal, assume that it is taking in 1 year time, roughly speaking. If customer is interested, we follow the traditional model where whatever the phases of analysis, planning, design, implementation, testing, everything will be done one after another by us. That's what the traditional model we follow. But whereas when it comes to the second scenario, because if customer is having enough time, the traditional model will be followed. But if you see the present condition, the present scenarios now, can you expect customer will wait for 12 months or 8 months or 12 months to complete the project? Even though they wait, don't you think whatever the features and functionalities we have developed in all these months will become outdated, because you don't know when and how this market situations will changes. Depends on the market situation, depends on the market demands, needs, expectations and all. Whatever the expectation in reference to the features and functionalities are changing nowadays very fast. So regular traditional models, something like waterfall model, V model, all these are not something feasible or possible for anyone to use in long run. By keeping view all this in mind, agile is a methodology, or agile, some people call it as methodology, some people can say that agile is a process, but I can say agile is a way of approach, because way of approach which guides the team to complete the task in very limited time, very shorter time we can complete it, and whatever the value system you want to deliver, so that can be done. So that is what generally majorly agile we are using here. So I am writing something on the Word document so that you guys can understand this much better. So the first question here, why agile are we using nowadays in application development? Right. So this is the first question. So we need an answer for this first. Why agile is being implemented nowadays? First question. Why agile we are using? Because of few different reasons. Agile has an advantage. What is an advantage? First point, short-term deliveries. Means whatever the work are you going to do, everything can be done in bits and pieces. At the same time, whatever the work you are doing and all everything can be delivered in short iterations. So short-term deliveries. Next, short iterations. These are the two different things. Means, for example, normally if you follow the traditional model, there is a plan of development will be taken, based upon that implementation will be taken care of. But whereas when it comes to the agile itself is concerned, as I taken the example of an e-commerce portal, for example, customer doesn't have time, because to complete the whole e-commerce portal, assume that it is taking 8 to 12 months time for us to complete. Now customer doesn't have the time. Till the time he can't wait. What is that we can do? We have a choice where we can execute the work based upon the expectation what customer has and what customer wants. So what is that customer requires, that can be done and that can be developed by us accordingly. This is what generally we can plan. So what is that we are doing here? We are doing here based upon the expectation what we have. Means based upon the short-term deliveries, whatever the short-term deliveries we have, means whatever is required for the customer at this level, that will be planned first. So based on that, implementation will be done accordingly. This is how and what generally we do when it comes to the project, when it comes to the projects itself is concerned. So what is that we are doing now? What we are doing is we are working on short-term delivery, short-term iterations. At the same time, whatever the work are we going to do, everything is short-term deliveries. So whatever is customer is expecting in first 3 months or 2 months, that will be developed first, and implementation will be done that. Followed by this, delivery will be done accordingly. This is what generally we call it as short-term deliveries transfer. So based upon the short-term deliveries, we are executing it and we are delivering it to the client. So this is the second point. So short-term deliveries, short-term iterations is why we are going for agile. Point number 3, customer collaboration. Normally, if you see in traditional model, there is no customer collaboration because customer never will be a part of the project. But whereas when you see agile as an example, customer will also be a part of the project. Means customer will also one of the person who is there in the part of the project. This is what we call it as customer collaboration. It means like customer will also be a part of the project. So customer will also be there in the project, and whatever the requirements and all everything we were developing according to the customer needs. So customer will be there with us all the time. Whatever is required for the customer, we are developing it accordingly. This is what generally we call it as customer collaboration. So short-term deliveries, we can deliver the project in very less time. Short-term iterations means work can be done in bits and pieces, in small chunks. Customer collaboration means customer will also be a part of the project. At the same time, changes can be made. Changes can be made at any time during the project development. Changes can be made at any time during the project development. If you see the traditional model, changes would cost you more because more number of hours you have to spend. At the same time, effort, manpower, in terms of the manpower, financials, everything will be more. But whereas when it comes to the agile, whatever the implementation we do, everything will be done on small iterations. Small iterations we are doing it. So there are possibilities that if you want to make any kind of changes on the particular functionality as per the user story, what is that we write, so that can be done and that can be changed accordingly. So changes can be made at any time. So that's the reason why agile implementation or agile way of approach, why are we following, especially in reference to the application development nowadays, because of this reason. So agile will give you a delivery value, and whatever is required for the customer, that can be done. At the same time, there are high chances for us to improve the there are high chances for us to improve the quality of the work. Whatever the improve of the quality of the work and all everything will also be done by us, right? Improving the quality of work and all everything comes under agile. So agile, why agile we are using? Because of this reason. So we can deliver value to the customer at any point in time. At the same time, we can improve the quality. Why customer is asking us to do the changes? Because he wants to make some more quality output and all everything in coming time. In view of it, if you want to improve the quality, that's the reason why agile is being used for. At the same time, as I mentioned you, release planning will be done first. Based upon the release planning, implementation will be taken care of. This is why agile, we are using agile methodology or agile process or agile way of approach, whatever it is being used nowadays. Now, is agile is only for IT people or is it for other people as well? This is the next question. The answer is very simple. So in reference to the agile part itself is concerned, agile is way of approach which is not something confined only for IT, because most of the people have some misconception over that agile belongs to IT. To some extent, yes, because of the prominency of IT sector and IT environment, we give more importance for IT, accepted. But it's not only the case. It's not only the case. Why? Because agile is a way of approach to handle the team, to complete their tasks and deliverables and all everything in very less time with a quality output. That's what generally agile says to you. So this is not something only for IT project development. Even you can see this even in other environments as well. You can see it in HR environment, means you can see it in marketing, operations, in each and every other domains, even in non-IT also. If any organization or if any department wants to improve the quality of work, quality of the deliverables and all that, so agile is one of the way why agile can be implemented. So there is a conception due to ignorance by most of the people feels that agile is an approach which is used in IT environment most of the times, but the fact is not, because agile is a way of approach which is being used not only for IT. Agile can be used in non-IT also, because agile explains is about the improving the team efficiency of delivering the value to the customer as earliest as we can. At the same time, dynamic changes can be made at any point in time. Whatever the requirements and all everything can be added into that existing thing from time to time. That's the reason why agile we are using nowadays in every organization. IT as more exposed because of the prominence in, as well as more knowledge and more exposure towards IT is there nowadays. That's the reason why we see agile as all good. So this is what generally the whole introduction about why, for what reason agile is being used, what is the reason behind using agile and all that. Now, if you see the team's difference, for example, if you see the team, this is how the difference you can see from traditional to agile teams. If you see the traditional team, there is a hierarchy. You will be having a project manager, you'll be having a business analyst, you'll be having an architect, development team, testing team, right? User interface designers, documentation team, all these teams will be there. This is all something comes under the traditional teams. But whereas when it comes to the agile, it's not that. Agile is a self-organizing team which is limited in terms of percentage of people, because less people will be there in agile. Self-organizing team, it's all you're organizing yourself, self-organized it is. So as it is a self-organizing team, you have an advantage. One advantage is that you'll be having more communication among you guys. At the same time, one more challenge, especially I say in agile, is it's a multitasking. People who are working in agile environment should have an ability of multitasking. Why multitasking? Because for example, if you are a developer, you cannot confine your responsibilities only for development. If there is a situation come across, even you should be able in a position to perform your job as a tester. Even means if there is someone is absent and all everything, you have to do the work. Why? Because agile majorly focuses and majorly believes on the teamwork, not by the individual capacity. So individual performances and individual capacities will not be taken into an account. It's a team effort. 100% agile believes on the team effort. But it's not only about the technical skill set which is sufficient for the people. It is also required a mindset. What kind of mindset? Mindset in terms of the team management. That itself is a challenging point, especially when we are working, because implementing technical parts and all everything never be a challenge, because if a person knows about coding, how to do coding and all everything, he can write the code, not a problem. But within the specific timelines, within the short timelines and all everything, because it's a time boxing kind of stuff, within the specific timelines we have to complete the task, and whatever the new challenges we come across, that has to be addressed by the team members or the individuals, and they have to perform accordingly. That is not easy for to say, because when we are start working on it, people will be of different mindset, people will be of different behavior attitudes. So combining all these people and making work done within the existing timelines and all everything is the biggest challenge. You know how people management is important, right? How people management is difficult, because people have different mindsets, people have different behavioral traits, all that. So making everyone under a single umbrella is definitely a challenging task. That's the reason why mostly slowly organizations were moving towards agile environment, not 100%. Slowly they are transforming from the regular models to agile. Why? Because they are believing more, providing more services, quality services to their customers in very less time. Dynamic changes and all everything are also expecting by the organizations nowadays. So this is all about the introduction about why and for what reason agile is being used, and how different agile from traditional teams is all about. I hope this session given a clear insights about what exactly agile is, and for what reason agile we are using nowadays, all that stuff.